This is total growth investing, where price growth is not enough. Dividend growth is not enough. We want to find stocks that grow in both of these categories. And if we can find them, we can beat the market. This series of videos will be doing a basic review of the top stocks on my total growth investing ranked watch list. I have 673 stocks on that list, and I want to focus on the top 10. I'm going to give you my first impressions of each stock, some fundamentals that are important for dividend investors and how those have changed over time, and then we'll dive a little deeper into valuations and what I think they might do if someone were to invest in them right now. Let's talk about Zoetis. At the time of this recording, this stock was ranked number 10 on my watch list. Zoetis is a global animal health-focused pharmaceutical company that was a spin-off from Pfizer in 2013. The division of Pfizer that it came from dates back to 1950. Their website goes deep into their history over the last 70 years, listing acquisition after acquisition, both before and after their IPO. They have been growing very fast, which is why it ranks high for total growth. The first thing you see when you look at a stock is usually the price. You don't want it to be too low because that might mean it is struggling to stay relevant in their industry. With Zoetis, their stock price of $139.39 means they are a major part of their industry. How major? According to Statista, they are the leading animal health company in 2018, with annual revenues of $5.83 billion. Their competitors come close. Here's Boehringer Ingelheim and Merrick Animal Health. Here's Elanco, which is a division of Eli Lilly, and then Bayer and a few other out of the country. You can see in this chart they are beating all of their market competition. Key data. Well, they're in healthcare and they're in pharmaceuticals. They have 10,600 employees, founded in 1952, not including their spinoff. Let's look at dividends. Their current yield is 0.57%. That's actually really low, but their payout ratio has plenty of room to grow, 23.82. And their growth rate has been phenomenal. This is 5 years. Let's look at the entire time. So they're not quite 10 years old. They've only been around since 2013. But a 30% over the last year, 19.96 over 3 years, and 17.9 over 5 years. Here's their growth history going up. Here's their actual payout history going up. This is what you like to see. Let's look at yield on cost. So right now, 0.78. But if you bought it 5 years ago, 1.67. And if you bought it at IPO, 2.58%. Let's look at momentum. They don't have a full 10-year history yet, but for 5 years, 189.90, compared to the S&P at 60.05. If they can keep growing, they'll certainly beat the S&P. And that's total return, not just price. Let's see what that looks like. Price return. Over 5 years, they kept up with the S&P until mid-2017 and then started taking off. They did have a dip thanks to COVID-19, but they've almost completely recovered. Here's total return. And here's price return versus total return. With that low of a dividend yield, there's not much difference between the two lines. And again, here's price. Take that out to max. Price and volume. So the volume is pretty low, but somebody likes the stock. According to Seeking Alpha, who are their peers? So these are not direct peers, because they're not all in pharmaceuticals and they're not in animal health. That's Zoetis on Seeking Alpha. Now let's look at dividendstocks.cash. And let's look at valuation. So, stock price. Let me hide everything except for stock price. Here's stock price from the beginning. Here's earnings per share and adjusted. Here's operating cash flow. You can see everything else moved down because operating cash flow estimated is going up significantly. This is metric per share in USD, US dollars. So right now, as of March 31st of this year, operating cash flow at 3.79. Expected or estimated 4.37 at the end of 2020, 5.09 at the end of 2021, and 6.24. So what does that mean in terms of fair valuation? Let's bring those lines in. So fair value, the dark green, follows the earnings per share. Fair value adjusted is the dotted brown line. Fair value based on cash flow is the yellow line. If we buy it here and sold it here, what would we have gained? If we put in $1,000, we would have gained 308, 32.5%. Annual yield, 11.5. That's not bad. The dividend yield fair value keeps up with the cash flow. Looking forward to seeing this company grow. So there's Zoetis, number 10 on my TGI ranking list. This is Total Growth Investing. My name is Chad Lepkes. I'll see you next time.